Hey, it's Lei, aka 飞鸟之影 or Monday Surprise on YouTube. Oh wow, I like this effect because it's kind of match my tattoo, Wukong. I like Wukong because he's super powerful and he can always achieve what he wants. Alright, let's get back to today's topic. The reason I decided to make this video is because I watched a video yesterday and it's kind of like a documentary. So it was like the video is just talking about this city in northeast part of China which has a low cost of living, and that's why it attracts some young people to migrate back to their cities, because if you work in major cities in China such as Beijing, Shanghai, you earn probably much more, but the thing is the cost of living is also pretty high, and the property is, if you want to buy property in China in those major cities, it can be insane, it can be almost impossible. So yeah, that city definitely has some benefits to be lived in. So that city is located in northeast part of China. It's just a small city. It's not a rural area, so it has everything that you need. The facilities, schools, whatever you can think of. So, but the cost of living is low, so the salary is low as well. There are not many job opportunities, but still I see this opportunities to be living in China, at least, how much they sell the property in that city? 30,000 RMB, you can buy your own apartment. So easy, right? And you don't have to work so hard. Just think about ourselves. What do you really measure about your life? What do you need? You just need a place to stay and a stable job, or perhaps, for me, I always want to start my own business. Probably it's something regarding foreign trade or something like this, something international, because I feel like I like to speak English. Or speaking of speak English, I just feel like whenever I talk in English, I feel I becomes to another part of me. I'm showing my different personality, because I just feel like I like to speak English. English is my second language. It's not my mother language. My mother language, however, to the Chinese is it's almost rude. Speak English, which makes me feel like it somehow triggers my second personality. I don't know, how do you guys feel about it? But when I speak a different language, I just feel like I'm a new me, you know what I mean? So that's one of the reasons I really like to speak in English. But again, Chinese as my mother language, I am married, but it's just like when I try to talk in Chinese and try to talk Chinese in with my Chinese fellows, I just feel like it kind of drag me out. Drag me back to this experience about the life experience in China, in which I didn't have too many things to be enjoyed at that moment. Alright, this topic might be a bit off topic, but I just want to introduce more, so bear with me. Just share some stories from my past. So when I think back of my life, I've never think about a place called home. I just feel like the only home I can think of is my hometown, which I went back and I tried to see how I feel about it, but it's hometown is just a place where I can never go back. There's no proper job, there's nothing to do basically, but I really like the nature there. It's very beautiful. And I got my friends who grew up with me, so yeah, they were really good. But the thing is, when you choose a different path of life, you just walk that way, And yeah, and then I've moved to Harbin City for my during my school time, middle school and high school time. As I lived with my grandma most of the time, and I know at that time my parents has purchased the apartment in Harbin City, but I just never felt like home. never feel like this is the place I will be settling down. I've never had that kind of feeling. And then I moved to Malaysia for my bachelor's degree for the university. I even joked about that. The room that I had in Malaysia is bigger than the room that I had in Harbin City. I feel home somehow in Malaysia, but I don't know. I just decided to move on because Malaysia, I don't know. The weather is too hot. That could be one of the reasons. And then back to China again. The good time I can think of is the time that I spent in Shenzhen, because I just feel like different person. It's kind of like the energy thing. You got this energy which matches with the other city. Not really to the northeast part of the city, that kind of thing. But this is how I feel about me. When I recall my life as in China, I just feel happy in south part of China, the people that I met, everything. But when I just recall the life I spent in northeast part of China, not that good. Especially the time that I met this awful teacher, the teacher in charge of my class in middle school. Hell, that has negative impact in my entire life. I can say that. Even today, sometimes I had my nightmare about that evil teacher. But anyway, fuck it. I always question myself, like, is this right to come to New Zealand to study at the age of 31, and then when you graduate you will be 32, and then you will be applying for 3 years of open work visa and try to get a permanent residency here in New Zealand, and that will probably take another 5 years in total, right? So that means, oh wow, I will turn 37 at that time. I don't know if it's worth or not. And I just want to find this place that I like to settle down my life. And in New Zealand, to get a permanent residency is only your first step. The second step, if you want to buy the property in Auckland, you have to prepare like 1 million New Zealand dollars to buy the property in Auckland. The good thing is it comes with the land, unlike China, which just the apartment. So it takes time and efforts to get the thing that you want. Whereas here right now I see another option. Back in China, you can just spend 30,000 RMB to buy the property, and you can start your own business easily. I just feel like, I don't know, it's kind of 这让我心里产生了一定的动摇，你知道吗？ Because I don't know if this is the right path or not, and no one can predict your future. No one can tell you this is the right path or not. So that is the thing. I see this option right now, like here, but I can try to predict what will my life be like. I mean, what will the life be like if I go back to China? It's probably just I can buy the property so easily, I can buy the apartment so easily, and I can work from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. if I want, but you don't earn that much money as well. So I gotta start my own business at that time as well. So I don't know, I just feel like if I don't get the permanent residency at this stage, because I've already spent so much money to come to New Zealand again, and I just want to get the permanent residency and try to live a better life. But I don't know, it's because I'm not the young people like are in their early 20s, so I gotta think about this. My parents, I gotta think about my future. Basically, if you want to start your family, I mean, you don't want to start your own family, you gotta find another partner. You gotta find a partner, and I don't know, that's just another story, another hard story to go. If I go home, maybe the biggest difference will be my mentality. I always feel insecure. This insecure comes from my lack of control over the future and my ability to withstand disasters. To put it bluntly, it is money. So let's say if I go back to China, I think I can feel pretty happy, I guess, about the life I'll be having. But the thing is, I really like the environment in New Zealand. By environment, I mean a lot of things, you know, because if you guys keep watching my video, you know what happened to me back in China. You know, I've been caught by the police by doing nothing wrong, and maybe I shouldn't say nothing wrong. Maybe I should say this is so special. This is a special case. But anyway, yeah, here in New Zealand, I just feel I feel insecure as well, because it comes from the first thing, money, and the second thing is the permanent residency. The third thing will be I won't be having enough money to purchase my own property in New Zealand. So I know this is quite common nowadays for young people. I know I shouldn't be relying on material things for my sense of security, but changing one's mindset is a tough nut to crack, right? Anyway, thanks so much for watching this video, and I hope you won't have this kind of confusing in your life. And yeah, thanks so much. Have a good one.